Listen attentively because we're doing wrong. We have talked already about workstation use. I see most of you are not here, that's why you are doing it. And I'm sure those that were here keeps looking at you like, what's this one? When it comes to the workstation use, like I told you, a lot of people run away from this. A lot of technicians go to several technicians' office, they run away from it because of the way it is. Now, 3 things you are controlling when it comes to the workstation. 1, you are controlling the airflow. 2, you are controlling the temperature. 3, you are controlling your hand. How many did I say? 3. Now, in controlling all of those things, you have to be skilled in making sure you are not missing anything. And what do I mean? You have to make sure the airflow is enough. The temperature is with respect to the kind of motherboard you are dealing with. Then you have to make sure also that your hand is heating up. You are setting it to where it should be and not to another place. Now, first and foremost, let's get conversant with this machine. This particular machine is a workstation. Come here, that boy, come here. It has basically 2 sections. Now, the power here works for the hot air gun. This is the hot air gun. This is the nozzle. Now, this is the switch. Now, the way this machine works, when it is off, the hotness already there is going to keep working, you see it working, but it's actually just extracting the heat from the system. Now, this is the air control. This is the temperature control. So, now I said the other day that if you are controlling the temperature, the air should not be too much. The air has to be minimal, depending on what you are doing. If the air is to be much, maybe you are drying something or you are just probably doing a reflow or so. But for what you are doing, because if the air is too much, it's going to blow away components. That's 1. 2, the temperature depending on the motherboard. If it was a soft panel, the thickness is not so much. Just work within 250 to 350. If it's now a motherboard as thick as what I have here, you are looking at 400 to 450. If you are going 500, it's going to be too much. Are you following? Yes. No, the other side here is for the soldering iron. And this is the control for the soldering iron also. This is the switch, then this is the control. This, the higher it goes than analog, the higher the temperature. That's what this connotes. Now, having said that, I also explained the other day that when you want to use a workstation on your mobile phone to work, you have to take an assessment of what you are dealing with. There are several materials that are used on the motherboard. Take for instance, we have some that are plastic. In fact, this one is a paper, like a foil type. This one here is like all this sticker, they have paper. And they have their usefulness because they contain certain information about the phone. Right? Now, the normal condition to work is to have a panel holder. Let me not forget that, because I see some of you were holding panel this way. You hit it, you thought maybe because it's hot that you now come back again. No. Something is holding it in place. This is getting hot as it should, facing the proper, you are eating on the side alone. You are not eating here to work here, except where you are dealing with is at the top, whereby you need to bring this. You need to bring a component out and you just hit the area that are closed so it won't burn the component. So I gave you 3 minutes. What I expected you to do as soon as you get here is switch on the machine, get your hair to say like 2 or let's say 2.5, or at most for this kind of job 3. So I'm on 3. Then the temperature control, say for this board I'm dealing with, I want to remove this now. This is what I want to do. For this board I'm dealing with, let's say I am on a 400 to 450. It's fine there. I see you were taking your time to make sure it's on one particular thing. No need. Just work with a range. So now I do not have my what's it called here to hold it in place. So I'm going to use that to do that. Come closer, hold this in place for me. All you need here is not too much. This is your hair flux. Your flux, soldering flux. Let me apply little here. Now, based on my assessment, removing this particular component is best from the back because there are no components here. I could remove from the front, but the best place, the closest best place to deal with your job is what you should work with. So I am going to be making use of you know, here, too much. Okay. Now this is me just trying to feel what's the hair like. Is it too much or is it too small? So I'm gonna be removing this from the back. Now I'm focusing. Look at my hand. It is straight. I'm not bringing this out and now eating here. I'm focusing on just the center of where I want to bring out the components. You need to take note of that. It's very, very important. So that by the time it's done, it's going to come out. There's nothing like that. It's not removing. Now back to the one this boy says it was not removing earlier. I assess. I see his best here. I assess it coming from here, it will damage this particular components. So let me do it from the back so you see it's very possible. So I'm hitting. In fact, I start to check sometimes to see is this setting on the right place. Now I think I'm good, and in a moment this should be out. Did you see that? So if I were bringing it back, I set it in position, I hit the same area, then it's back, right? People have spoiled the mouth of this. Okay, so we work with that. So it's back in position. You see that? Now, let us say, give me a component to remove. This one here, the camera. This one. Okay, good. That's the earphone jack. Now I am assessing where is the best place to deal with this. For an earphone jack, I'll first need to put some lead in here. Why? It's entering into a hole. There's already lead here. It's going to take a while for that thing to come out if I do not first apply at least some lead. So see the process for that one now. Where is so the lead? Let's give this some time to actually I'm still returning this back to its coming from. The best way to remove this kind of thing is through this means. If I eat it up, it will take too long. So I'm going to fill this lead into those spaces. Let me clean this. This is me trying to fill this into those holes, and that's why I did not give any of you this one, because I know you will not even get it. This is an earphone jack. I hope you know that. Yes, sir. Thank you. You see, it's filling into those holes, and it's giving me what I actually want. What I want is for this lead I'm just putting to mix with whatever was there before. Did you see that? You see, there is a difference between this one here and this one. So I'm going to fill that into all that holes. What I'm showing you right now is what a lot of people actually do not know, and that's why they end up damaging, whatever it is they are actually dealing with. This is something I learned some years ago after I had first faced a lot of troubles with that kind of job. So this is necessary to have a good removing. A good desoldering. So I left it in that position in that hole, and I started turning around so that the lead on it will fill into that hole. Now, if you get home, if you have a workstation, you can try this out yourself. You will see what I'm saying. It's going to be harder to remove not doing this rather than doing this first to remove it. Now press down. My rework station is still on. Now there are components, of course, here, but so far my rework station do not touch them, they won't come off. And if the hair is minimal, they won't jump off. So I'm gonna release this hair a little, then I'll come back to what I actually want to deal with. I can apply paste here on the sides. Hold it very well. Now you see this is long. Observe the movement of my hand, this left hand. Observe it, because it's important. It's as if I'm eating it to make a food. This is much. I felt that jumping, that means the heat is too much. And I'm shaking this little by little. I'm not pulling it out immediately. You need to note that I'm not pulling out immediately. I'm sort of shaking. Then it's out. I was shaking. I wasn't pulling. Note. It's not like you just be as if you want to give it food. No. You just keep going little by little. If it's moving with you, move it with. If it's not moving, then you let it be until it sets. Let me set this back in position. Then deal with putting it back in position. You see my hand moving around? Did you see that? Not like, and by the time I see that this thing is getting too hot, I sort of withdraw for it to cool off a little. So with this, I've removed this back. I give it some time to cool, then it's good. If this was damaged and I brought it out, I'll bring in another one, prepare that hole with some legs, make sure that one is straight. It's exactly in the same size, not like one is bigger, one is smaller, and I put it back. So, lastly, let me bring out a component that I'll remove it from the front. So, which one should I remove from the front, even though it's hard? Let's say I want to remove this component from the front. This one here. This is a plastic component. And I know that it's easier from the back, but let's assume there were components at the back. How will I now deal with this? It's easy. I will bring this out. Listen attentively. I'll bring this one here out because I do not care about it already now. Anyhow, we won't come out. Make it come out. Then the one coming in must have been set. Then by the time I'm bringing, okay, let me bring it out without it damaging. Let me try that out. Although it's going to be hard because I'm doing it from the front. But the way to do that is to eat around it, not on it. Let me work with 420 this time around.
As a plastic on it,
that's what we are trying to achieve without damaging. So let's see. I'm going to be going round, 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 round. Not on the component itself. If you observe, I'm just moving around the edges because by the time the around it is hot. Did you see that?
okay.
Now, what is the idea here? Let me show you the idea by explaining what I'm saying. I would have burnt this table, I prefer, but let's find something that I can burn to show you this particular thing. Find a plastic, I mean a board, maybe a board that is gone. A board, any board. Let's use this. I can still use it to explain what I want to explain. Now, okay, iron also explains it. Oh, how am I even disturbing myself? You know that heat transfer. Those in physics will understand, but I don't want to. Since this class is not just for physics students, ordinarily, when you hit this thing at this edge, where we feel, which part we feel the heat the most? That part, right? But at some point, the heat will keep going, and I'll start feeling it. The closer they get to where it's moving, it will keep going, right? That is the concept I just used here on this board. The same goes with anything that's burned. If I burn this thing at the center here, this place will feel the impact more. So, oh my Jesus. So what I have done here is that I know that what I'm dealing with is very, it's plastic. It can go back easily. Oh my Jesus. Oh, I'll enter my body. So what I just did was hit the edges around it, closer to it, so that by the time this place is hot, it's coming here. This place is hot, it's still coming to the center. This place is hot, it's still coming to that side. And every other thing around it are actually hot. That was just what I did here. So in putting it back, I will have to do the same thing typically. So let's say I was putting this back here. All I want to do is set it in position, then start the same process. This can melt easily actually. Putting it back would have been best from underneath, Abby. But let's just assume this job. This is my only way to put it in position. So now let's see after it cools off, has it actually sat in position? Yes, it has. Yes, it has. It's in position and it's bad. Maybe we would have burnt it. But right now it's sitting in position. And with the way it is now, it's either bringing another one to put it back. But for this kind of clip, let me now give you another approach to it. Let's assume that there were components at the back. Provided that those components are not covered. Hello everybody. Provided that those components are not covered like this one, I can still hit it from the back to put them. So that means let's now say they are covered, I can sort of cut open that side. So that, why is it so? So that when I'm eating, this is what will be feeling this heat. Before the board itself feels it, is going to take too long. So I need it to be open to the board. Put it from there. Make sure it does not shake. If it shakes, boom, you won't know which one I should do. That's probably the one. So it's really delicate. So I'll eat it from that same place opening, so that the heat can get to this easily, melts in the back. That's the way to handle any form of material you're putting back that is plastic. Now, is there anybody with question? What did I say you are controlling when you are using the workstation? Temperature, the airflow, and what? And your hand. Where should you be hitting? Majorly, if you are going from the back, focus on the part where the component is, so that it can melt easily to bring out what you want to bring out. And note, you have to make sure this other one here, the tweezer you are going to use, is also what? Ready. Not the one where you were doing like this. No, okay? It is while it is still hot that you can bring it out. And that means both hands has to be working. Your hands has to be working. I don't think there is anything you want to do with the workstation that has to do with replacing a component that you won't be needing it. It's not possible. So I did not understand when some of you had to first drop this one. No, okay? It doesn't work that way. So let's return this back to where it was coming from. Let somebody hold this down. Let me set it. Okay, let me set it in position. Then let's hit it up from the back. Hold it down, or else to get up to that point too. I can apply lead there if I want to. If I see that the lead there is not enough for me, right? So this just means setting it up. You see it's cold enough in just 2-3 seconds. If I can press it down, since this nature can still work. The nature of this job can still work. So if we're doing a charging battery connector job, we have successfully replaced this, because this battery connector is as good as new, and that's what a workstation is used for. Any question? Any question? Any question? In the absence of none, I say good afternoon.